and technology.
BEIS is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
BEIS University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at BEIS University and invest in your future today.
BEIS University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
BEIS University. Learn to live.
On Global TV News Express, federal government exempts small businesses, farmers and manufacturers from withholding tax. And business marketers fear high-priced petrol ahead of supply. On the foreign scene, at least one dead as Hurricane Burley batters Caribbean. And in sports, Chelsea completes signing of highly rated Marc Guiu from Barcelona for €5 million. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. Speaker of Imo State House of Assembly, Chike Olemegbe, has announced the suspension of 4 members of an alleged plot to impeach the Speaker. The Speaker said the decision to suspend them was taken at the executive session. Individuals seeking to get admitted to the National Open University of Nigeria and other open distance learning centers are now mandated to register via the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board. An advisory released by the board states that such candidates are also expected to register with their unique national identification number, JAM. Noted that the move is to checkmate nefarious activities. The board, however, promised to make the registration process as seamless as possible. The Transmission Company of Nigeria has suspended the planned power outage on the Osogbo, Akure and Odo-Ekiti 132 kV line. Head of Branding and Corporate Communications Department of Benin Electricity Distribution Company PLC, Evelyn Binwin, stated that the outage was earlier scheduled for 2 months, noting that the suspension is still further notice. Vice President Kashim Shettima has visited victims of the suicide bomb attacks in Borno State, where a suspected female suicide bomber detonated explosives in Gwaza local government area of Borno State. A curfew has since been imposed on Gwaza over suspicious of another attack. During his visit to the Borno Specialist Hospital, Shettima convened the sympathy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the people and the state government. He also said the death toll has risen to 32. DSTV MultiChoice has allocated channel 365 to Global Television Abuja on its platform. In a letter to the Managing Director, Dr. Ibrahim Biu, and signed by DSTV MultiChoice head, third-party channel Tunde Onokoya says, the channel is allocated after due consideration of technical and content capability of the television station. He said subscribers of DSTV will now be watching Global TV on all MultiChoice platforms, which will be launched later this month. A Delhi Indian-bound passenger, Freeman Charles Ogbonna, who was arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency 3 months ago after vomiting and excreting 80 wraps of cocaine at the screening point of Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have been sentenced to 25 years imprisonment by the Federal High Court. Ogbonna was arrested on March 31st while attempting to board his flight to Delhi, India via Doha with a Liberian international passport bearing the name Car Bismarck. He was taken for a body scan, which tested positive for ingestion of illicit drugs. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has sealed about 100 shops in Obete main market, Enugu State, for alleged dealing in suspected fake alcoholic beverages. The agency also confiscated a truckload of adulterated products as well as arrested 4 traders. Speaking after the raid and arrest, NAFDAC's Director Southeast Zone, Martins Iluyamade, said the suspects were already in custody and will be charged to court after ongoing investigation. The Kogi state government has confirmed 2 cases of cholera in the state. The 2 cases were detected in Lokoja and Omala local government area. The confirmation was contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the State Ministry of Health, Dorothy Onoja. Consequently, the state government has constituted a cholera response team that will investigate reported cases, collect samples, and administer appropriate treatment. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to quickly put in place measures to check the spread of cholera across the country. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion of public urgent importance moved by the House Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda, titled Urgent Need to Check the Outbreak of Cholera in Lagos and other parts of the country. Following the adoption of the motion during a plenary presided over by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, the Legislative Chamber urged the federal and respective state government to urgently put in place measures to effectively check the outbreak of cholera in the country. Operatives of the Nigerian Immigration Service Ilela Border Command Sokoto have arrested a 25-year-old Rukaya Hassan who attempted to traffic 2 underage girls across the border of Niger Republic. The Command Public Relations Officer Mohammed Abdullahi said this in a statement in Abuja. Abdullahi said that the victims have been handed over to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons for further investigations. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms by using the Global TV NG and the handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, federal government exempts small businesses, farmers, manufacturers from withholding tax. This and other more stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and they repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
With every
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of News Express. Thank you for staying with us. Kenyan police fired tear gas to scatter small crowds in the capital of Nairobi after youth activists called for fresh protests following deadly violence during the anti-tax hike demonstrations last month. Activists have stepped up their campaign against President William Ruto despite his announcement last week that he would not sign into law a controversial finance bill that triggered what he has branded tourismist protests. The Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights said on that 37 people have been killed and 361 injured during 2 weeks of demonstrations and condemned the use of force against protesters as excessive and disappropriate. On the foreign scene, President Joe Biden has warned that the U.S. Supreme Court landmark ruling on presidential immunity sets a dangerous precedent that Donald Trump would exploit if elected in November. The conservative-dominated High Court ruled that Trump and all presidents enjoyed absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts taken while in office, but can still face criminal penalties for unofficial acts. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's administration has proposed new regulations aimed at safeguarding laborers exposed to extreme heat as climate change continues to elaborate heat waves across the United States. The proposed rule targets a wide range of workers, including mail carriers, delivery personnel, construction workers, landscapers, and restaurant staffs who face high heat indices regularly. According to government estimates, the regulation would impact approximately 35 million workers, both indoors and outdoors, who are exposed to a heat index of 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius or higher. Palestinians have been fleeing districts to the east of Gaza's second city of Khan Yunis after Israel issued evacuation orders overnight and into the morning. Witnesses reported multi-Israel strikes in and around Khan Yunis. A medical source and Palestinian Red Crescent said 8 people have been killed and more than 30 wounded. Patients and medical staff have also been leaving the European Gaza hospital in the area. As a Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza told them to evacuate, the Israel military have not itself issued an evacuation order for the hospital. Flood-hit Indian state of Assam is on a high alert as it braces for more rains in the coming days. The northeastern states have been inundated by flood waters for several days, affecting more than 600,000 people and killing at least 34. Chief Minister Halmata Baswa Sarma has said the next few days could be critical as India's weather department has predicted more rainfalls in some districts. At least one person have died after Hurricane Beryl made landfall in several countries in the Caribbean. Thousands of people remain without power or are living in temporary shelters in St. Vincent and Grenadines, Grenada, and St. Lucia. The hurricane was upgraded to a Category 5 and is moving west towards Jamaica. It is expected to hit southeast Mexico by the end of the week. Over now to business. This premium motor spirit, also known as petrol from the Dangote petrochemical refinery, hits the local market in 2 to 3 weeks. Petroleum marketers have expressed the fear that the product's price may be higher than expected. They spoke against the backdrop of 650,000 capacity refineries' failed attempt to get feedback locally from the international oil companies. Dangote Refinery has continued to impact crude oil from the United States and other countries as a higher cost. This development has reportedly made its diesel and aviation fuel not very attractive to some local marketers due to the price reasons. Marketers raised concerns that the cost of importing crude oil would impact the cost of production, a development that may eventually hike the ex-depot price. The federal government has approved the exemption of small businesses, manufacturers, and farmers from paying withholding tax as a way of reducing the tax burden on businesses. It also introduced key changes to the previous tax regime, such as reduction of rates for businesses with low margins and measures to curb evasion. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, in a post on his official X handle announced that President Bola Tinubu has approved the new withholding tax regime from the country, with the official gazette expected to be signed in the coming days. The federal government revoked the 870 billion naira highway contract awarded to 3 construction companies, Dan Tata and Sawo Mothercat, and RCC for non-performance. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, ordered the termination of the contracts for Section 2, 3, and 4 of the dualization of Obanjana-Benin Road as 2,270 road projects nationwide suffered delays. Umahi asked the contracts 24 hours after issuing an ultimatum to the contractors handling the various road projects to sit up or lose their contracts. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission conducted raids on 3 steel manufacturing companies in Ogun State due to the alleged production of substandard iron rods and other anti-competition practices. According to the Commission, the affected companies are African Foundries Limited in Ojingo, Monarch Steel Mill Limited in Sagamo, and Cam Steel Integrated Company also in Sagamo. Acting Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Dr. Adamu Abdullahi, stated that the Commission's visit was based on intelligence suggesting potential anti-competitive behavior by these companies. The Nigerian Climate Innovation Center, a global network of the World Bank's community innovation centers and a member of the Climate Bus Innovation Network, has said that the proposed 10% green tax on single-use plastics in Nigeria would affect production and consumption through increased pricing to consumers and households. In a statement, the center explained that green taxation is a policy tool used by government to promote sustainable behavior by imposing taxes and fees on activities that pollute and degrade the environment. It said embracing circular economic principles will enhance economic resilience, reduce dependency on finite resources, and foster sustainable consumption and production patterns in the country. In sports, according to Italian reports, Premier League giants Arsenal are preparing to make an offer for Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen after Napoli reduced their asking price. The Gunners, who finished as runners-up in the 2023-24 Premier League season, are now ready to negotiate with the former Serie A champion. Martino stated that Napoli are no longer insisting on the 120 million euros release clause included in Osimhen's new contract signed in December 2023. The 25-year-old forward has no interest in a move to Saudi Arabia despite lucrative offers from the region. Napoli is keen to sell him this summer and focus on acquiring a new striker. However, completing a deal has proven to be challenging, although Napoli president Alvaro De Laurentiis is actively working on the sale. Jude Bellingham is to be investigated for a potential violation of the basic rules of decent conduct and faces a possible ban after he made a seamlessly crude gesture following his dramatic equalizer against Slovakia on Sunday night. Union of European Football Association (UEFA) has launched a disciplinary probe amid claims the England star directed his gesture towards the Slovakia bench in Gelsenkirchen. The player himself was quick to take to social media to point out that the act was in a joke aimed towards close friends who were in the stands. Cristiano Ronaldo has so far been Portugal's savior that perpetually becoming the villain brought him to tears. 39-year-old superstar was shown crying after missing a 105th-minute penalty in the Salesco's Euro 2024 last 16 victory over Slovenia. Despite multiple attempts at goal and then Jan Oblak saving his spot, Kick Ronaldo could not pierce Slovenia's sturdy defense wall, and eventually the match finished goalless across 120 minutes, leading to penalties, taking Portugal's first spot kick. This time, the former Real Madrid hitman did find the net, and his team triumphed 3-0 on penalties after Diego Costa saved all the three Slovenia's efforts. Chelsea has secured the signing of 18-year-old Marc Guéhi from Barcelona. The Blues triggered the striker's €5 million release clause, and he has now signed a 5-year contract with the option of a further year. Manchester United have launched their new home kit ahead of 2024-25 Premier League season. The Red Devils are looking to bounce back from their worst ever Premier League finish last season as they enter their first full campaign under the leadership of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe opted to give manager Erik ten Hag a chance to put things right as he opted not to swap managers, with the Dutchman set to lead the club into another year of their rebuild. As we end the Global News Express, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. The federal government has announced the exemption of small businesses, farmers and manufacturers from payment of withholding tax. In business, operators have charged Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board on enforcement of local content laws. On the foreign scene, at least one dead have been reported as Hurricane Beryl batters Caribbean. And in sports, we told you Chelsea has completed signing of highly rated Marc Guéhi from Barcelona for €5 million. And that's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms by using Global TV NG on the handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.